All right, we're here live from the Wynn Racing Sport, the beautiful Wynn Racing Sportsbook with Racing Sportsbook Director, my friend John Avello. John, how's it going?
Hey Rick, doing real well, thank you.
You know, this is one of the busiest weeks for you. You've got this, you've got March Madness all coming up, and you do the extra things, the Westminster Dog Show, the Oscars and all that, but this is really the Super Bowl for racing sportsbooks too, right?
It's a big week. The crowd starts coming in Friday, right up until Sunday, full capacity. Windows all lined up, players going out the door. I mean, it's just incredible what the staff goes through on a weekend like this, but we look forward to it.
And the proposition bets are not something that you can get all the time. So it's kind of a new thing for the staff, or at least a renewal thing for the staff to have to stay up with all the props and all the different things. I noticed first team to make a fumble, all those types of things are listed in there. How many propositions do you have?
There's about 200 up there right now, and you can get them during the year, but not at this capacity. You know, we usually put up 10 or 12 for a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, but to have 200 plus up there for a game like this, a lot of work, but the customers that come in to play them really enjoy them.
Is there any big time hit that anybody's ever made on some of your prop bets? 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20?
There's always big time hits. I remember a guy coming in one year and betting 20,000 per prop, and I think he hit 18 out of 20. Big hit for the hotel. It happens, you know. So it's all about gambling, Rick.
You put your money up, you win, you get some back. Now, speaking of getting some back, John, you've got this line 2.5. A lot of people think, well, that's Mr. Avello's opinion of how the game's going to go. That's not really so. The line is up there for betting purposes. You want to even things out on each side of that betting line. Are you happy with 2.5? Does it look like it might move anytime soon?
We opened this game Seattle 1. We went to Denver 1, Denver 2, and now Denver 2.5. And the Denver money's still coming in. So I don't want to move it any further if I don't have to.
Particularly to 3.
Yeah, moving numbers is a hazard for bookmakers. So you try to stay at one number and take all your action at that one number, or maybe an extra half a point. But once you move to 3, like you just said, key number, dangerous, very dangerous.
Is some of that money that's on Denver simply because there's not a great deal of knowledge about the Seattle team because they are on the West Coast and they don't play on prime time as often as like the Broncos do? So is there a knowledge factor that's having to do with the money?
Oh, no, there's plenty of knowledge on Seattle Seahawks.
Welcome to computers.
I think there's one word you could use to tell you why the line is what it is and why it has swung. Manning. That's it. That one word.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are going to bet Peyton Manning, looking for a second Super Bowl, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Tremendous year. Why get off him now? He's had a great year covering the spread with the Denver Broncos, and I think the players are going to ride him to the very end.
Now, do you have an opinion on the game, John? Is there a team that you favor one way or the other? If you were going to go up there and make a bet, what would you do?
I don't have opinions on Super Bowls. I really don't.
That's why you wear the nice suits.
I'll have opinion at 3:20 on Sunday. I'll show you what my opinion's going to be.
As long as you're not buried on one side or the other,
Exactly.
We're good. Okay, John, we talked a little bit about the Westminster Dog Show and the Oscars and the Emmys and the Golden Globes and Dancing with the Stars. You put up lines on all those types of things. Even though people can't bet on them per se, you still have to do the work to put those up because people look to you for some guidance on who the heck's going to win Dancing with the Stars. How do you stay up with all that?
I'm an entertainment guy. I really am. I love all forms of entertainment, music, dancing, acting, and so I stay on top of it. I love to watch it. I go to a lot of movies, and I TiVo a lot of things and go back and watch them. And that, among my research, is how I come up with the odds. And it's expected of me for our guests. They come in, they look for the sheets, good coffee table material to take home, and we update them every week and have just a blast with it.
Well, I do know a lot of people enjoy that. John, you started, at least when I met you, you were at Bally's. Lenny Del Genio really kind of started that ball rolling on the Oscars. And you worked with he and Bob Gregorka, and what a triumvirate you guys had there. What's the biggest change you've seen in running a racing sports book, or seeing them as computers made the huge difference? What is the biggest change you've seen?
Oh, you can start from the system that we take the bets on all the way until what the room looks like and everything in between. Self-betting machines now, betting from your seat, so much quicker to write bets, so much more efficient are the machines to write those particular bets.
Are you a fan of that?
Yes, I am. Of course I am. And, you know, the technology is going to continue to change. People are going to be able to bet, which they can now, on handheld devices. And that's going to continue to grow, and that's where we're going, and that's where the world's going.
Absolutely. Technology is, I guess, Las Vegas, for whatever reason, has kind of lagged behind in what's available there. I guess because of the regulations and some of the
Correct.
worries about what could happen or what potentially is out there. So
Our gamers are very particular on what can come into the state and what we can use. You go through a stringent process to be able to get some of those devices in here. So I don't fault the guys. I mean, I'm kind of for it. I'm glad that the protection's there to protect us, the bookmakers, and the house. So it's not something I would say that I'm totally against when it comes to really doing due diligence when it comes to these new products coming in.
okay, well, when I first moved out here in 1983, there were freestanding race and sports books. There weren't very many of them. Sonny Reasoner had the Castaways, and that was the epicenter of sports books.
Mm-hmm.
Guys could go around and go over to Gary Austin's and get a different line, and go over here and get a different line. Now that really is not the case. I mean, pretty much what you get here is what you get darn near anywhere. If there's a half a point difference, you've kind of scored. Is that the fact?
When the numbers first opened up, you might find a little more than a half a point, possibly a point, possibly a point and a half. But everything comes together over time. But it all comes together because there's bettors out there that make it come together. So if I'm a point different than another place down the street, they're going to take their number and lay my number, and we're going to come together. And that's why the numbers that are out there that are different won't last long.
Well, I will say this, John, and as we wrap this up, this is one of the most beautiful, most functional race and sports books I have ever been in, and I know you're proud of it, and rightly so, and you do a great job here. The Wynn Race and Sportsbook Director, John Avello, thanks so much for being our guest today.
Thank you so much, Rick. Really appreciate that.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you much.
See you after the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.